We're back. We are back again. We're back again. And it's been a while. And there's some reasons for that. And I don't feel great about them. Just because, we just hit 1,000 and we were kind of moving with some momentum, but life happens, and I'm human too. But yeah, I wanted to make this video as kind of a little life update, and kind of an update on what's going on with the channel and all that stuff. Yeah, where do I start? So I've been gone for about 2 months. I recently found out over the last few days I'll most likely be losing my job. It's kind of due to some poor, unprofessional decisions on my part. I've been at this job for about 3 years, and I've kind of not really liked the company, and lack of communication. So I've been a dietary manager. I don't know if you know. I don't talk a lot about on the channel, but I've been a chef, or in some capacity a kitchen manager, for my whole working career. I've moved my way up a bunch of different places, but yes, essentially I've been a chef, kitchen manager, and now I'm a dietary manager in a nursing home. For a company, it's essentially a staffing company, and they put us in different buildings to kind of do their food and housekeeping and such. So I was doing the food. And ever since I started with said company, they've kind of bounced me around and never really given me a home, so to speak. And they've definitely not put me anywhere close to where I live. The first place I was at was about an hour away. About an hour commute, 2 hours a day commuting. They moved me a little closer. It's about a half hour, which was a little better, but that building eventually didn't work out. The administrator did not like me, mostly because I am opinionated, and I will, be very blunt, and I don't know, I think there was some sexism going on there too, but then they moved me to another building, different one, but also an hour away, and that's kind of where I've been for the last 2 years. And recently they had me pulling double duty in 2 buildings. But this new building is 2 minutes away from my house. I could literally walk there. It's honestly where they should have put me in the beginning. But there was just no vacancy for a manager there. And when it opened up, they put me there. Long story short, I got news that I was not going to be going there full time like they had promised. I kind of blew up, got mad about it, frustrated about it. And that's not the reason. why I'm being suspended. There's another detail that I won't get into involving that, but yeah, I might be losing my job here in the next few days. If I haven't already. I have not heard from them. So yeah, big life change. And, one of the big reasons why I got into doing this channel, not only for just the love of ASMR, and, the fact that I have the equipment to do it, and, the positive messages I've received so far kind of kept me going, that I would really like to be a content creator full-time, or at least something with digital media, computer work. I do some videography. I have a little studio here where I record my own music, my band, and my other projects. So, I'd like to do that full-time too. It's just, it's hard with the limited space I have. I wouldn't be able to record full bands, but I'd like to do something, either audio or video. So, kind of a big reason I started this, to kind of see, where it would go. If eventually I could make some money off of it. By the way, I did not get myself this mug. It says "World's Best Boss." Somebody got it for me, I swear. If you've ever watched The Office, you will get the reference. Yeah. I think as much as I like food, working with it, and as much as I've learned, I genuinely, I just don't think I'm happy in it anymore. And computers, media, video, audio, that's kind of the stuff that I'm more passionate about. Love to possibly do it for a living. With AI being more and more prevalent, that kind of realm is being more and more bleak in terms of jobs. Something I'd like to do. So, I started out with, and that's not really a big excuse why I haven't posted. I don't know, maybe I feel like I owe everyone an explanation. I probably don't, but it's just been kind of mentally draining with it, so I'm trying to see this as a positive thing. I might try to look for a new job in the meantime. I have some savings, so I'll be okay for a bit, but I will sooner than later need to find a source of income. So, I'm not saying everybody put a super chat in for me or donate to the PayPal. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying, I feel guilty that I haven't put more into this as it's been growing. That's where I am with that. Anyway, more positive note. I've lost about 12, 13 pounds over the last few weeks. Not due to stress. Not due to stress. In fact, I think the fact that I've been kind of overweight is contributing a little bit. How did I lose? I lose that weight. I've been doing alternate day fasting. So for 12 hours on one day, I'm getting messages on my watch. I'm just gonna take that off. One day, I'll eat for 12 hours. Not continuously, but a 12-hour window. So from 7:30 to 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. That would be my eating window. And then after 7:30, I don't eat for 36 hours. So I fall asleep, get my 8 hours, don't eat the entire next day, and then fall asleep again. And then I will eat the next day. So it's 36 hours of not eating. I know that might seem extreme to some people, because it kind of is. And you should definitely see a doctor before you do something like that. I myself did not. I kind of went into it thinking that if, I start to feel bad, or like I'm gonna crash or pass out, or have some sort of medical emergency, I would eat, or I would eat and try to not have that happen. But the first day was pretty rough, considering in my entire life I've never gone a day without food, which in itself is a blessing that I've been able to do that, because not everybody can. There's some less fortunate people that don't know what's good to eat. But, that experience was interesting. I think the hours of 5 p.m. to like 9 before I went to bed were pretty rough. Went to bed pretty hungry. Ultimately, I got through it, and it was okay. It was fine. I ate the next day, and I've just been doing this consistently for a few weeks, and I've lost a bunch of weight. You might think 3 weeks, 13 pounds, that's not healthy. A lot of that's water weight stored, glycogen, and yeah, feeling good. Today is a fasting day, so what I'm allowed to have, and by the way, none of this is medical advice, please do not take it as such, but I did a little research before doing this and kind of seeing some studies and results, and I've tried intermittent fasting before, and kind of never got to stick with it, but for some reason, this I can stick with. Which is odd, but for me, it's easier, because one day, I can plan out my meals, and then the next day, I don't have to worry about it, because I'm not eating. The idea there is to create a calorie deficit. So, say, normally, I would eat 2,500 calories in a day, and that would be either maintenance or, a little below. And this is just an example. So, over a 2-day stretch, you'd be eating 5,000 calories. But on my eating days, I eat a little above to kind of maintain and keep myself full and kind of like help me into the fasting day. So I'll eat 3,000 calories. or 3,500, depending. So over a 2-day stretch, instead of eating my normal 5,000, I would eat 3,500, therefore being in a calorie deficit, therefore losing weight. So yeah, back to what I was saying. It's a fasting day, so yeah, I can have things like black coffee, and boy do I go through a lot of it. I have that, and water. And the important thing with your water, because water's hydrating, but when you're not getting anything else into your body, you need to have electrolytes. You have to have a good level of sodium to do it safely. So, yeah, but doing that 3 weeks, I don't know. People, some people have told me my face looks thinner. I haven't been on here in a while, so I don't know if anybody remembers what my face looks like. But yeah, I can definitely notice it in, like my hips. And you guys probably are like, oh, I didn't know you needed to lose weight. Probably because you only see me from here up, And I think a lot of people who actually see me in real life would probably think the same thing, just because I'm 6'3", so I'm pretty tall, so all that fat stretches. But yeah, I started this at 292 pounds, which is kind of an eye-opener when you weigh yourself one day and you're almost 300 pounds. I mean, I got a little muscle on me, but, yeah, I'm a big guy. But now we're down to let's see, I weigh myself at the end of my fasting days. Never do that. Never do it on an eating day, because obviously you have food in you that's gonna contribute to weight. But I'm at 278 now and dropping, so that's exciting. I've tried a lot of different diets. Keto, which is not sustainable. Eating meat and fat. I mean, it was okay for a while, but the diet really gets boring. It really does. Not a fan of, not a huge fan of that. But, you can tell I haven't used this in a while. Top's all dusty. Yeah, I feel like this is something sustainable. And if I have a lot more energy, it was getting to a point where, like, stairs were becoming hard. Not hard, but harder than they used to be. I feel like I remember me doing these videos before, heavy breathing into the microphone a little more than I'm doing now. I've been sleeping better, like so much better, even if I only get 6 hours as opposed to a normal 8. Like if I just go to bed later, my little watch will tell me, like, yeah, you had better sleep. I've been getting better, like REM sleep and deep sleep and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for it. I don't think it's for everybody. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Going an entire day without food, but there's something about it that I just enjoy. Plus, it's like, it gives you something to look forward to. Because tomorrow I can eat. And I try to fit in vegetables and high protein into it. But, I also have my treats. I'll have some chocolate or a cookie, I won't try to, limit myself too much. And doing it that way, I'm still losing weight, so if it works, it works. So there's that. Yeah, just those two kind of big changes in my life. But I would like to get into doing this again, and I think I will. What's extremely motivating for me doing this is feedback. Positive or not necessarily negative, but maybe critical, constructive criticism, things like that. I do appreciate every comment that you guys put out there. Not only because it helps the channel, but it helps me kind of want to keep going, and it gives me an idea of what to do next. You guys are immensely, not saying that word right, helpful in that regard. That being said, I have some plans, video, with me potentially, after the result of the suspension, not having a source of income for it. I can't promise we'll do too many pack openings or anything like that. If you guys want to donate some cards to the channel, or if you do donate any sort of monetary say, hey, put this towards an opening or something for the channel, I will, and it'd be much appreciated. Yeah. It's good. It's good to be back. And, it's good to feel good about what you're doing. Especially for a living. Working for healthcare and nursing homes, you do get that sense of pride that you are, feeding and helping these elderly people. And it's a shame that I feel like the company I work for let me down in a way. So, you'd like to feel 100% positive about that job, but when things like that happen and promises get broken, it is tough to want to continue. think it's important for everybody to try something new. Try something that could make you happy. If you're lucky, you get 80 years on this planet. Why spend the majority of that being unhappy just to get by? With things the way they are, and the cost of living, that sentence, it gets harder and harder to say. That notion, that idea that you should try to be happy over money. Things are not as easy as they used to be. Not like they've ever been easy, but they're definitely not getting easier. I think it takes a strong person to want to achieve success, but also be happy doing it. And honestly, that is the definition of success. That's what I think. That being said, I have off today for the foreseeable future, so I'm going to try to record some more videos and get them posted. I'd also like to try doing more live videos. Those are just hard to pinpoint times for. So if you know of a good time where you would like to watch a live video, I'm assuming it's later in the day, before bed, or as you're going to sleep, leave it in the comments. Maybe start planning out like that. So, I hope you guys liked the video. Hope you subscribe. I hope you hit the little bell so you can come visit me for the next one. I hope you get a great night's sleep.